Welcome to Highly Questionable. I'm Dan Batard. This lavender creature over here is my father, Gonzalo. That's Bomani Jones. What do you like on the show today, Bomani?
That night train lane clothesline Drew Brees caught. That wasn't really a clothesline, but got a penalty and made people mad.
Big play. Vamos, papi.
Can we stop paying attention to the Chief now?
No, I'm going to go the other way on this. I haven't been paying attention to them for 9 weeks, but I was actually impressed by them last night. And if you look at the next 3 games that the Broncos have, they're really hard. The Chiefs could still win this division.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was impressed by the Chiefs. I certainly wouldn't say I was thoroughly impressed by the Chiefs. But you know what they look like? A team you don't want to play in the playoffs. Look at the glut of teams that are around 6-5, 5-6, 4-7, like right there in the AFC. There are no really good teams. The Denver Broncos aren't even that good as far as I'm concerned. But do you think Denver wants to play that team with the kind of defense it has in cold weather? That's like the Jets teams that you saw a couple years ago that beat the Colts with Manning and beat the Patriots with Tom Brady.
My most interesting takeaway from that game last night, and I couldn't believe this, Bomani, is they could get no pressure on Peyton Manning. The only time Peyton Manning was on the ground against that defense the entire game is when he was making a tackle on a fumble. That was staggering to me because that defense is good, but Peyton Manning is better at what he does than they are at what they do.
Speaking of quarterbacks, the Chiefs, their guy,
yeah.
I told you. Yeah. I tried to tell you. Yeah. We've been trying to tell you. Yeah. He's just not good.
I love being down 2 touchdowns and trying to get back in the game on screen passes. Hail Mary, screen pass, check down.
Well, there were a lot of drops. The receivers, they keep dropping the ball, and then you had that fumble in the 10-yard line. What the hell is Alex Smith supposed to do?
Oh, what do we have? Somebody else in the media rooting for the mascot for mediocrity, Alex Smith. I went through it with that broadcast, and everybody I find, every silver lining there is with Alex Smith, people will find he didn't complete 50% of his passes.
Yeah.
I got your back, Alex.
Yeah, he does.
Don't listen to these guys.
He benched that fullback with the beard and the tattoos last night. Benched him as soon as he fumbled.
The Niners deserve to get penalized on this play.
All right, we've had so many things happen and so many changes in rules that sometimes we forget that some rules probably were already there. Yesterday was a moment like that in the Saints game with the 49ers, and Drew Brees almost got decapitated. Look at this, Dan.
This was a big call. It looked really bad. Looked bad, but in slow motion, it's not as bad, Bomani. In slow motion, that's not a penalty.
Well, it's bad. It's just not a penalty in slow motion. But I'll tell you what else it's not. It's not an affirmation of the game going soft. It's just a bad call. Guess what? They outlined the clothesline like 40 or 50 years ago. The ref thought he got clothesline. And with all the stuff they're doing, how do you let a clothesline slide if you think you saw one?
Here's the thing. That is the new NFL. That's going to be a penalty always, forevermore. And the problem with this is this. You can't make health your priority and then say, well, it shouldn't be health on the really big plays. That's going to be a penalty if it looks like a penalty for the rest of time in this sport.
The head's not the only body part, kids.
The ref blew the call.
He did.
He got hit and then he jumped back. He was ready to play again. What was the big deal about it?
Yeah, while you say that, look at that replay in slow-mo one more time where Drew Brees' whole body goes this way. His neck stays in the same place. It's not supposed to be like that.
Drew Brees is too small. He's supposed to be bigger and stronger, that's all.
He is kind of small.
Who you rather have today, Nick Foles or RG3?
Boy, I tell you, Nick Foles has played well. There's no other way to put it. He's averaging over 9 yards an attempt, which is absolutely absurd. But if Chip Kelly were to make a phone call to the Washington Redskins and say, can we have RG3, they hang up. And if Shanahan were to be dumb enough to call Chip Kelly and say, do you want RG3? Chip Kelly would be in Washington to drive Griffin back by the time they hung up the phone.
Can I answer this question by saying I'd like RG3, but in Chip Kelly's offense instead of the Shanahan offense? Because I don't suspect that Foles would look like this if he was playing in Washington right now.
Yeah, because you know who's averaging over 8 yards an attempt this year? Michael Vick. Right.
Was it Matt Schaub, Andre Johnson's spat just one of those things that happened?
Schaub is his name. Schwab was a guy who used to work here at ESPN, and it is one of those things that happens when an organization is wasting your career the way Houston has wasted one of the great receivers we've ever seen. He did not want Matt Schaub back in that game. Why? The other guy has been throwing him the ball a lot more often, and well.
Yeah, and if I'm Andre Johnson, the last thing I want is back talk from the backup quarterback because that's what Matt Schaub is. He's the backup quarterback. But let's not bury the real story here. here. I know it's really uncomfortable because a lot of things have happened in the last couple of weeks, but Gary Kubiak came back to work, and Gary Kubiak put Matt Schaub back in that game, and all that happened was, oh, your whole season finally, totally, completely imploded right there on the field. Everybody's got to go.
If you look at their record, they're lucky to have the 2 wins they have. That's pretty inexcusable, and I understand why someone as great as Andre Johnson would be very frustrated with that situation. They barely won the 2 games they won and got lucky in doing so.
Otherwise, it would have been a 3-way tie for last place. It would be Houston, Atlanta, and Jacksonville.
Think about that for a second. The Texans and the Falcons, who some people were talking about Super Bowl, it's toilet bowl, baby.
Toilet bowl.
I thought that was an awful joke, and my father liked it.
That's everybody. You never said toilet bowl. Everybody say toilet bowl.
Should Trent Williams really be upset about the ref calling him a bad name?
All right, it's not really the best look to talk about what the ref is saying about you after a game as bad as it was for the Redskins, but I don't know if I'm about to tolerate somebody talking to me like this.
I'm not even talking about a specific call, but, you know, when you have a ref come up to you while you at the line about to run a play and call you, excuse my language, but a garbage, disrespectful, like, to me, you know, this is a players' league. I just don't think there's no room for that, for you have to take that from the team and the refs.
All right, a couple things worth noting here. One, the ref was given an opportunity to comment by the pool reporter, and he then declined. But remember something about this. The referees aren't just supposed to keep the game fair. They're also supposed to be out there to help keep players safe. The idea that the refs could harbor animosity toward players goes a little bit farther than I think people are giving it credit for. And if the referee did deal with him in that way, then we have a problem.
I'd like some more facts here. I'd like some more context, and him not speaking to pool reporters to add those facts and context. Maybe he was told something before that made him react that way. But if he wasn't, in the absence of more facts, if this is all we have, that's a fireable offense to me. That ref can be fired for treating a player that way.
Yeah, we need names, date, time, everything.
Yes.
We need the facts, and then
Right.
we'll get rid of that.
A committee, a task force. I don't know that you're allowed to call him that on television. We need more.
Coming up next on my son Stevie's show, we have more football. Even when I was on top of the heap, you know, I was a real big belly guy. You're not going to compete against that guy.
You can probably still do it. Go ahead and show it to us. Shake it for the people. Shake it for the people.
Wait a second.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, dear God. Oh, he's got no problem doing this.
I don't know my belly. It is Monday. Time for more football.
We like Mondays.
Did Jim Schwartz blow the game with his fake field goal attempt?
You know, I heard about this one, but I was thinking, well, maybe they were kicking into that dastardly open end of the field at Hines, the one that makes field goals die. I didn't realize they were up 4 points and at the 10-yard line. What are you doing? And what makes it worse for Jim Schwartz? Look at this.
That holder not used to running with the football, evidently.
And he knew it was stupid. He's like, oh, my God, I'm the one that has to run this stupid play. And see, Schwartz said, we're not scared. No matter what, you won't say we're scared. I don't play scared. We're not talking about scared. We're talking about silly and reckless, which, oh, by the way, has been the entire Jim Schwartz era of the Detroit Lions. That's it, right there, encapsulated. All they could have added to that was a 15-yard unnecessary roughness penalty. You have his whole tenure.
It looked like he had an opening, though, didn't he? That hole closed in a hurry. Why? Because it's a holder, not a running back. But there was an opening. There was blocking there, and they saw something. That would have looked like such a good call if he had run through there and just got the first down, which is what he was going for, not a touchdown. But instead, we have a 10-point loss on the road when you're winning by 4 points, and it makes the Lions look like the Lions. I'm more interested in how Calvin Johnson got erased in that second half. How does that happen? He was on pace in the first half for more yards than anyone ever. 3 targets in the second half, zeros across the board.
The whole team disappeared. They had one good quarter. They didn't do anything otherwise.
Will Brett Favre saying he would be reluctant for his son to play football change anything?
I don't think so. I mean, Junior Seau killed himself, and I'm not sure it changed anything. But listen to this sound. Matt Lauer exclusive. And by the way, Brett Favre's my age. I want you to look at how Brett Favre looks, how weathered. Professional athlete Brett Favre. He's my age. I look better. I'm not a picture of health. Look at this.
If I had a son, I would be real leery of him playing. And that sounds in some respects, I'm almost glad I don't have a son because of the pressures that he would face, but also the physical toll that it could possibly take on him. Not to mention, if he never made it, to me, the wake-up call was Deanna and I were talking recently, and she was talking about Breeley, our youngest, playing soccer. I don't remember her playing soccer. She played right over here.
Look, Favre snuck something in there if you were listening close. He said something to the effect of, what if the kid doesn't make it to the big time? And that sort of stuff is why I do think hearing this changes something. Pop Warner football participation is down. This isn't about whether the NFL is going to change. They'll probably find people that can populate that league forever. What is going to change, if anything, is participation in this game at the youth level, because if you're just playing for kicks, this is not necessarily worth it.
That is how the sport dies. It's too big and too lucrative, too popular, but that would be the way that the sport ends up dying. If mothers decide, like Brett Favre is talking here, my son's not playing this, and all of a sudden the pool that you're choosing from shrinks.
Not just mothers, that's a father. Don't forget that.
My God, he looks like he's my age.
I know he does. My father looks healthier. Seriously, I put those two next to each other and I say, who's older? You have to think for a minute, don't you?
Yeah, 20 years of getting knocked around. It might shock you, but it takes one hell of a physical toll.
I won't let my son play football either, but that's because he sucks.
Yeah, that's why he wouldn't let me play football. I embarrassed him.
Do you think Andre Ellington will tighten up his hair?
All right, your hair is part of the uniform, and if it comes out of your helmet, somebody can snatch you by your hair. And when we say snatch you by your hair, we mean they can snatch your hair out. Somewhere in this, Andre Ellington, with that impressive head of locks, lost a few of them. And there they are, Dan, right in Jason Babin's hand.
Look at Jason Babin saying to himself, he seemed confused at the start. What is this in my hand? Oh, it's hair. And afterward, Ellington says he's just going to get that stitched back in. I think we lose sight every Sunday of how violent that game actually is when Jason Babin has a handful of scalp in his hand and he just throws it to the ground.
Looks like somebody's pulling off your hair.
Hey, that's not funny. Don't laugh at that. You've got no hair. Look at that. Get out of here. That's not funny.
Shave your head.
In the discussion.
No, shave your head then.
You'd be hard to tackle by your hair.
That's right. I got the right idea. You out here holding on for dear life. Give it up, Dan. Your time is short.
No.
Y'all can't see it in the back. It's back there is where it's really
I still look better than Brett Favre, though.
Oh, that was unnecessary.
Do you think Brandon Mebane knew his midriff was exposed?
This is going to be my father's favorite video in the entire show. This is going to bring him great joy. Watch this. He knew his midriff was exposed. There's the helpful arrow. Watch this, Poppy. He's going to celebrate this.
Celebrate something that's not a sack, by the way.
He's going to celebrate it. Shake it, big man. Shake it. Yes.
See what he's doing right there? He's trying to get that State Farm money, that B.J. Raji money. He sees it right there. If the Seahawks win the Super Bowl, he's going to be right there shaking that belly fat for an insurance company.
I wish I was as confident about my fat as that guy is about his fat. I feel shame. I wear blousy shirts. I want to be more like that guy.
I'm so glad he's not more like that guy.
I can compete against that belly. You know?
You got it.
I can. I lost all my belly now. Even when I was on top of the heap, I was a real big belly guy. You're not going to compete against that guy.
You can probably still do it. Go ahead and show it to him. Shake it for the people. Shake it for the people.
Wait a second.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, dear God. Oh, he's got no problem doing this. He lost my belly.
He really did it. I didn't think he
He's
would.
got no shame about that.
None.
Do you feel bad for Georgia coaches watching how their game ended?
I always feel bad. He never feels bad. He likes to laugh at people. That's what he likes to do. This was a terrible way to lose this game. Terrible.
It's a great way to win it. Don't forget that part.
Great way to win it. Oh, look at this. Triple coverage. Perfect.
Oh!
Perfect.
If that happened in a video game, you'd have to unplug it because the game was cheap. What an unfortunate, horrible season for Georgia where that happens. And then that happens.
Yes, that happens. That's praying to Mecca. Look at them, all of them. Oh.
I mean, look, they still had a chance to win the SEC East. They were there, and then that happened. And I tell you, it probably didn't make it any better when after the game, Nick Marshall, in all his media training, talked about how he just trusted his receiver and he delivered the ball. Stop lying. Y'all got lucky, and you're not going to give it back.
Can we look at this again? Watch him in the middle of the play. I was wondering, as this was happening, why isn't isn't he going up for the ball? Look at him. He just runs. Look, watch him. Look, he just runs. Like, how is that a catch?
Yeah,
like he wasn't going up for the ball. He wasn't going to catch it there. His only chance was to catch it behind the defender.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. He absolutely gave up on the play. He just wound up in the right place once he got there. Giving up, kids, is the new working hard.
It's a great reaction from the coaches there. That's one of the best plays you will ever see.
Coming up next on my son Stevie show.
Look at this. Go, big man! Nobody's tackling this guy when he's in the backfield.
Dog.
Go, big man!
Time to play the game that knows you are only after one thing and is okay with that. Do you question?
You give us topics and events and we question them.
Do you question the impressiveness of Jack Taylor's 109-point performance?
He's got a 138-point game on his resume. I was mildly impressed by that, but I'm already tired of this kid, and it's only the second time I'm talking about him. Look at this. He just keeps, their offense is just built around him, and they allow layups. Somebody on the other team went 25 for 27 in this game. He took how many shots, Bomani?
He was 24 for 48 from three. From three. Woo-hoo, I tell you, that was a nice little pump fake,
I mean, 50% from three is impressive. 50% for anybody is impressive.
Look, he's not Wilt Chamberlain. Let's be clear. It's not that kind of 100-something points. At the same time, that's a lot of shots to put up without getting tired. So if you don't want to credit him for the points, give him some credit for the stamina. He must do tricep extensions all day long just getting that jumper ready.
I would hate him so much if I were his teammate. I mean, I would try to injure him. I would have a Nancy Kerrigan tire iron situation.
I guess we should stop criticizing Carmelo now, eh?
That's the thing. Carmelo's sitting there like, oh, you talk about me. There's something wrong when I take all these shots.
The next New Yorker article isn't going to be about him being a free agent. It's going to be Carmelo saying, I want to play for that coach.
Do you question if Big Tone has future in pro football?
This is a high school kid named Tony Picard. They asked him, what's his nickname? He says, just Big Tone. You're about to find out why they call him Big Tone. Look at this. Go, big man! Nobody's tackling this guy when he's in the backfield.
Dog.
Go, big man!
Why don't more teams do this? I've never understood. It takes like 5 people to bring the big man down. It may take forever. But look, these are high school players. Look at number 8. Look at number 4.
He's not moving real fast, though. This might be a drawback in his game.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, though. Like in college, it might be a problem because those guys have egos and, they want to take the challenge. But you look at number 3 and you tell me if he feels like he made the right decision. Like we've got the back of his head. I want to see his bewildered face as Big Toad comes hurtling right toward him.
I think he's got a future in that game. It's just probably not in the backfield.
Time to play the game that ain't getting enough playing, fool. See? Or no?
You tell us what to watch on TV tonight. We tell you if we're intrigued or not.
On ESPN, Monday Night Football, Patriots and Panthers.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one. And, by the way, Carolina and Cam Newton. The conversation at about 11 or 12 tonight is going to be about how this team is one of the best teams in the league after they throttle the Patriots. Bomani, are you intrigued?
Oh, I'm very intrigued. But see, if they don't throttle the Patriots and Cam has another bad game on national television, we'll probably be here tomorrow asking if he's done.
That's not going to happen. Poppy, are you intrigued?
See, I'm very intrigued because I gotta go with the Patriots. They gotta win this game because I cannot live in a world in which the Panthers are better than the Patriots.
They were almost better than them in a Super Bowl. This far from being better than them in a Super Bowl.
In Winnipeg, Flames and Jets.
No, your enthusiasm there for this is not going to sell me on it. Usually we make fun of goalies here, but here this allows us to break the mold and make fun of someone else on the Flames. Look at this. Lee Stempniak.
Woo, boy, that punch didn't look pleasant.
He loses the fight.
Did he fight?
And soon he's going to lose the game, covered in blood and ice shards. And now watch, that's not when the night gets bad for him. That's the good part of his night. Here comes the bad part of his night. Lee! Lee, that's the wrong goal. It's an empty net. You're supposed to put it in. What were you doing, Lee? All right, bad night for poor Lee. Bomani, are you intrigued?
Gotta say, I am intrigued. First of all, he's an alternate captain. That's your leadership right there doing that. But really, if this is how he gets down, I want to see if one of his teammates tries to fight him just to stop him from messing it up for everybody else.
Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued because you never know what Lee's going to do in the next game after he gets into a fight. Maybe he'll score 2 goals for the other team, and then we'll be a record in the NHL. You're not going to see Lee.
Okay, you never know what Lee Stempniak is going to do. We didn't even know who Lee Stempniak was before this clip.
But I said the same thing.
Tuesday night in Detroit, Knicks and Pistons.
The Knicks are a mess, and this allows us to show you the Pistons. Andre Drummond, watch this. He's 20 years old, this guy. He recently, I talked to him the other day, he recently got carded. That got carded at an R movie. 20 years old. That. Bomani, are you intrigued?
All right, I hate to admit that I'm intrigued by this, but there's the whole J.R. Smith, Brandon Jennings Twitter feud where Brandon Jennings said J.R. Smith's brother was terrible and shouldn't be in the league. So kick it old school. Put J.R. Smith's terrible brother in the game and have him foul Brandon Jennings hard and get ejected, and nobody will care because he is, in fact, terrible.
The Knicks need to take away J.R. Smith's Twitter account. Poppy, are you intrigued?
No, I'm not intrigued at all because this game is on Tuesday night. You know who is not on Tuesday night? We are not on Tuesday night, and I got news for those suits. You know, these guys in Bristol, they wear fancy suits, fancy jewelry, they drive fancy cars, but they don't know what the American public wants. They keep changing our show around, and the people that want to see our show, they want us to be on the air. I know what they want. They should get rid of all of them, all of them. Get your head out of your all of you guys, Poppy, yeah, all of you.
You can't say that, Poppy. You can't say that.
And their suits aren't that fancy.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
See you on Wednesday. No show tomorrow.
Gracias. See you el miércoles.
Yeah. Do you ever get worried that an ESPN executive is going to call you and get mad about some of the stuff you say?
Ring, ring. Yeah? Yeah, this is Papi. I know who you are. I don't really care what you think. No, you don't know what you are doing. Yeah, you're supposed to keep the ratings up, you know? You're really hurting ESPN, yeah.